not been able to stand that long. 2.5 weeks into wearing the X39 patch, the pastor said, "You can now be seated." It dawned on me at that moment that, my goodness, I've been standing this whole time, didn't realize it.
After there you are. All right, start to get your seats. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to get your practitioners up here. Dr. Holweger, make your way to the side. Dr. Dennis Pena, make your way to the side. Let's settle down here. We're blessed in the Lifeway community worldwide to have many thousands of health practitioners in our circle. They bring great value to us, and I really want to thank all the health practitioners for the fact that you are out there showing patients there's another way to do this, right? So how many health practitioners do we have in the room? Anybody go ahead and stand. Health practitioners in the room. This is great. I mean, this is how we change the world. This is how we let them see there's something else going on here. So please come up to the stage. I want you to welcome Dr. Pamela Lewin. Pamela is a family physician, wellness consultant. She is an MD. She is a native of Jamaica and has served as a member of the medical and dental team, traveling annually for 26 years to serve others. Dr. Young has a solo practice in Ocala, Florida for over 40 years, and she is also a co-founder of a medical director for a neighborhood clinic who serves the medically underserved. And she is a published author and a big pickleball enthusiast.
And thank you for bringing me into this amazing milieu with all these people. So I'm a recovering family physician, soon to be re-retired. I retired first in 2001, then began all of this giving away my medicine. Because I thought I had a little more medicine left in me, okay? So I started to give it away. And now I am going to be retired for the 5th and final time this week. So I want to ask you some questions because you know in this business you really have to do things like by asking people questions. We practice medicine. Do you notice that? Practice makes perfect. In medicine, practice makes practiced because we never get perfect. We try, we describe symptoms of diseases and we think we know about them because we can describe them. But, you know, we really only treat symptoms. And I want to do a disclaimer right now that we don't treat illnesses or disease processes with our patches. But what is the problem? What really is the problem? The problem is aging. Right? That's where regeneration and renewal and all of this building back new cells, replacing old cells with brand new. We make 300 billion cells every single day. We replace our whole entire body in about 7 years. That is, if you're taking in some good food, you're taking some good products and making, you know, supplements and things like that help you out. And if you got the right signals, you know, and the right energy. We're energy beings. And so we want to know that from my point of view, I have prescribed a ton of medicine in my time, believe you me. And now I've come to the point where Connie always used to say, remember, take this hat off and take the doctor hat off and put the networking hat on, right? And so I get to tell you that I have no more advantage over you being a doctor because we treat illnesses and you can treat the body. You are looking at what makes up this body. Stem cells are the original cells that made you. When the egg and sperm got together and had Freud's, a stem cell was made. Stem cells make your cells, they make themselves, they can make new stem cells, or they can make any cell, any tissue, any organ in your body. If they made you, they can heal you. So you don't need a doctor now to tell you, take this medication. You know what the medication is? Medicine, 8 ion. That means you're eating chemicals. We want to give you something that's not going to get into your body, but it's just going to upregulate your GHKCU. That's going to give you that signal that's going to send to your bones and your spleen and release stem cells that are going to look around inside you. You don't even know where they're going. My goodness, they self-motivate and they get to where they have to go and they heal, right? So that's what we are doing here. And thank goodness for David Schmidt. He is a brilliant genius. All you've got to do now is take this message out and live this new body that you're going to get when you use all these different patches and be.
So next I'm going to invite up Dr. Dennis Pena. He is a board-certified foot surgeon, graduated valedictorian. 2 years residency VA of Palo Alto, Stanford, Kaiser Hayward, California. He has been 30 years with the federal government. He is a wound specialist and pain management certified. Come on up, Dr. Pena.
So I became a foot surgeon because I wanted to practice sports medicine. I who do cool surgeries like clubfoot repair and things like that. I ended up working for the federal government, and there I cared for an underserved population that, due to their very unhealthy lifestyle, suffered severe consequences from metabolic syndrome. So I became a wound care specialist by necessity. I became a pain management specialist by choice. About 3 years ago, I was looking for some type of treatment that would help my daughter, who has an autoimmune disorder, because she had some severe side effects from the medications that she'd been taking. I met Connie Lucas and learned about X39. The most interesting thing that I found when I saw the testimonials was not the rapid healing, but the old healing. Because the body can only do so much. The only tissue that can heal perfectly is bone. That's why you have scars on your skin. But it's not the scars on the outside, it's the scars on the inside. So when I redo surgery through an incision, everything's all bound and twisted and tied up. So when I saw these older injuries healing, I knew that had to be a result of the regenerative processes, the stem cells. So I started reading the papers, and I learned there were other products. So I was fortunate to have Dr. Nicholas to shadow. I was able to shadow him, and I saw him work his magic with Ice Wave and Eon. So I said, well, you know, if X39 does everything that these other ones we were using for before, this is the one patch to rule them all. So we really only need this one because, like Dr. Pam says, we're reversing aging. So as far as stem cells, some of you probably had stem cell treatment here, but if you had it in the US, you got your old, tired stem cells. So the only way you can use placental or umbilical tissue is the way I use it in my consultant practice, where it has to be applied directly to the wound bed. And before that, I had said a long time ago, and you understand this, Tim, the body is smarter than the doctors. Okay? The body knows what to do. So when we reverse aging, the body says, hey, this is a young body. This is how we're going to heal it. So with the stem cells, they're smart balls. They know where to go, and they know what to do. So we don't need to depend, like she says, on the doctors. The other thing is that everybody's experience is going to be different. Some people will feel X39 right away. Some people will take long. Mine was gradual. In fact, I didn't realize until my new friend Sunwolf pointed out that his floaters had resolved, that mine are almost gone. And I think that's because I don't sit in an office all day and read charts and read books and papers and stuff. Because I'm out playing pickleball all day long with people half my age. And when I do it, people say, your knees don't hurt, you have the energy and do this. I said, yeah, my stem cells are turbocharged. So, one other quick thing. I went by my hospital to say hello to people and show them what I'm doing, and a lot of them already felt the effects of it. And I went to the rheumatologist's office, and I've been there 30 years. And I told her about it. She says, oh, those just patches, is that? I said, yes. She says, one of my patients swears by them. And I said, you should come and check it out. So I hope you're here, Dr. Sumner, but if you're not, I'm still coming after you.
Okay, so now we're going to get into some Q&A, but let me tell you a little bit about Staci Holweger, because Dr. Staci did not get edified correctly. She was first up. She is a doctor of integrative medicine. She's a doctor of functional medicine. She's an entrepreneur in holistic health and wellness. She's a Reiki master, certified leadership coach, author of Beyond Keto, and an SPD in Lifeway. And welcome back, Dr. Nicholas, to the stage as well. So we're going to go through a few of these and get a few questions answered. So, Dr. Staci, is there a difference if the patch is worn during the night as opposed to daytime hours?
Well, that's a great question. So there are a few patches, as you heard David mention earlier, that would be beneficial in the day. And that would be X39, X49, and definitely Energy Enhancer. Those three are daytime only patches. And you heard him mention Alvita and Silent Nights for nighttime only. You did hear him mention Eon as well as beneficial at night, or you could do that day. Carnosine, glutathione, the other ones could be day or night.
I'm sorry.
You know, it's always the leadership that I was running over earlier too, but I gotta silence my phone. It was a good song. It was a good song. Okay, so Dr. Nicholas, how does LifeWave help either recover or reduce the effects of long-term results from viruses, colds, flus, things of that nature? It says, how does LifeWave help? So what might be helpful for that?
Okay.
Someone's suffering with some after effects?
So I would always start with X39. David said X39 actually increases glutathione about 30%. Why I said that, not just so cool. So what got me in LifeWave was the glutathione. We were big into IV drips. I love them, I still do them. And I was using nutritional supplements. But the glutathione patch increases glutathione 300% in 24 hours. Some people it was up to 450 with some radical amounts. So this supports the immune system. Gets rid of chemicals, metals, especially the mercury that goes up in the blood-brain barrier. You want to pull that out. Glutathione, that's my main choice. X39 as well for more support.
Great. Okay, Dr. Staci, do I have to remove the patch after 12 hours, and why? Are there benefits, drawbacks, or dangers to leaving it on longer if I'm feeling good with it on?
That's a great question. We get asked this a lot. So if you leave it on longer than 12 hours, you turn into a pumpkin. Yeah, that's what happens at midnight, right? So the thing is with the patch, of course you heard David say, they've done over 90 clinical studies with people, and they have shown the effectiveness of using the patch for a 12-hour period, and then taking it off, throwing it away, or putting it on your pet. If you leave it on longer than that, your body, remember it's communicating with your body's light or heat that you emit. Your body needs a break. It's much like these lights. If we left these on all the time, they're going to burn out faster. So we take that patch off, we give our body that 12 hours to have a break. Now you can put a different patch on, because remember each patch is signaling different peptides. So if I take off my X39, I can put on my Alavita or my Eon because you're signaling a different peptide. But give your body that 12-hour break to repair and regenerate before you stimulate that peptide again the next day.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so this is going to kind of go off of what you just talked about, Dr. Nicholas. How do we help people understand why some people feel worse initially versus better when using the patches?
Yeah, so we get this a lot. I have patients coming all the time. It made me feel so bad. And like Robin, it took about 6 weeks, and she's calling me. She says, I feel like I got hit by a truck. And it's like the body's regenerating. So when old cells clean out and new cells come in, there's like this metamorphosis, a transformation type thing. You know, the caterpillar to the butterfly. So it's going to be a little growing pains, and that can be normal. So it's cellular memory clearing out of the body, and we call it retracing. But you're healing. In healing, you feel. Sometimes you feel like crap, but it's healing is good. So we don't always have to expect absolute perfect no symptoms. So symptoms aren't a bad thing. It's the body releasing out stuff. Better out than in.
Perfect. What patches, Dr. Staci, do you recommend for using for kidney problems?
Okay, so I always like to start people just like Dr. Nicholas with the X39. Stem cells can turn into any cells, they can turn into kidney cells, right? They can turn into that organ, whatever that body needs to repair and regenerate. So we always start there. If there's something going on with that organ, you probably would benefit from the Eon, because Eon does help reduce inflammation. And we can also see in the clinical studies how Eon impacts all of your organs. And honestly, the entire YH series does have benefits for all of your organs. But I like to start slow. Let's feel and let's work through that, like Dr. Nicholas just said, with the X39 and the Eon to help reduce some of that inflammation in the body. We can please go there with harnessing glutathione as needed as we progress.
Perfect. And Dr. Nicholas, we're going back, we keep going back to the detox for your questions. Can patches cause sleeplessness?
So we have people who put them on and they go, oh my God, I stayed up all night. So it's just resetting things. There's that possibility. So we should change the placement, drink plenty of water. You can also slow it down instead of doing 12 hours, maybe 2 hours or 1 hour. We find that it usually goes away after a couple of days if you're just starting out on and having changes that you're not experienced or used to experiencing. If your body just going from one extreme to the other and then back to center. That's not uncommon. But we don't like to say that to scare people. Because most people don't easy. So that's why we like to put some easy.
Perfect. So Dr. Staci, as Dr. Pam talked about, she talked a little bit about the idea that we don't treat, diagnose, or cure. And many people come in and they have one thing in particular. Someone is asking about, blood pressure, seeing changes in blood pressure. They can address that a little, but they're asking about time frames and things like that. What could you share?
Well, we're very used to our doctors that tell us if you take this medicine, your blood pressure in this situation is going to be back to normal within X amount of minutes or hours or days. And you're going to take this for the rest of your life. Now, did it actually get to the root of the problem of why? Not just the white coat syndrome blood pressure elevation, but the kind that you have at home when you take it. Are we getting to the root of the problem or are we just masking that with a pill? Right. And so that is going to be different for every single person. You have to understand that no one has the same insights. What's going on inside of every single body is different. So what may be causing everyone's high blood pressure versus Bob's blood pressure versus, Mike's blood pressure up here, it can be very different. And getting to the root of the cause, we know stem cells do that, and they do that on their own time. We can see from our clinical studies, though, because we always look at our clinical studies, improvements in the entire vascular system in the first 6 weeks. Around that 6-week mark, we can start to see changes in the vascular system. And of course, that compound effect, the longer you use it. So there's not one cookie cutter answer, but I will tell you this, David didn't get this far into the video. From the clinical studies on X39 and 49, we saw a reduction in systolic and diastolic blood pressure in 60 days. So that means that repair and regeneration was taking place for your cardiovascular system during that 60-day period. So not a pill that makes a change today. We can make some dietary changes, maybe some stretch. You can take your shoes off, go lay out in the grass, something like that for your anxiety or whatever that may be, right? But we can only go by studies. Everybody's different. No set answer.
Well, I'd love you to expand too, because sometimes you have to remember that doctors are prescribing a medication. It does what that medication does, which means if you have normal blood pressure and you took it, it would drop low. However, we're dealing with the body and the body's intelligence. So when you go a little bit onto the fact that if you don't have those issues, it's not going to do it.
That's true. I forget about that part of it. Balance, right? Balance. So if you have a lower blood pressure, for example, maybe you run a little lower. Mine runs a little lower, and I use X39, 49. Is it going to bottom me out? No, it's all about balance. This is one of the first questions I asked David when I met him when I went out to meet Marci and Peter in June of 2021. I wanted to know about X39 and Enon specifically for my daughter and what would happen with her because of her conditions if it was going to bottom her out in specific things. And he said, absolutely not. This is designed to signal peptide in your body. That peptide is responsible for bringing the body into balance. So if you're low, it will bring you to where you should be. If you're high, it will bring you to where you should be. Your body's balance. Homeostasis is what we call that. So it's never going to go the opposite and you're going to fall over and pass it. Excellent. Love it. Okay, last one for you, Dr. Nicholas. The best patch placement for joint pain and inflammation in the hips.
On the hip. Hi, our doctor. My YouTube channel. I go back to that. I do a lot of different nerve irritation just because this is not trained in life. It's super simple duplication. Point to the video, watch the video, how to find the nerve. It's on there. Because sometimes you put a patch on the hip, it doesn't go away. So I said, put it on this nerve here and see if that nerve that affects the hip. And this is a little neurology number. You can learn it. It's easy. And it's only a minute. You sort of just people. I do it back. Okay, so yeah, that's where I'm.
Well, I'm gonna have, Dr. Staci is gonna go into this, we hear so many times. Yes, X39 is the patch to rule them all. It does everything all the other patches do, it is our starting point. But as many of us, as we're going through our health journeys and as just brand partners ourselves, we wanna know what do these other patches do, and when might we add this to X39 or that to X39. So Dr. Staci is gonna give us an overview of all of the other patches.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Dr. Nicholas. And my beautiful assistant here, Laura Vanna, is going to help me stop. I'm holding the mic, and so holding the mic and holding the patches and all of that, trying to follow through my bags by it. So I want to start off by saying that one of the other first videos that I watched with David in the beginning was a video where he talked about Eon. How many of you guys love Eon?
Oh, yeah.
Obsessed with it, right?
Yep.
That was the #1 selling patch the company had until David released X39 4 years ago. Well, almost 4 now, right? Yeah, 2018. So Eon is a patch that reduces inflammation. Now, we probably know that we all have inflammation. Many different types, from food, from lifestyle choices, from injuries. How many of you have been in some type of accident where you've fallen, or you've been in a car accident, or you've had a surgery, right? You have inflammation in your body in those areas. I know with my daughter, she had had multiple surgeries, many more than I can count. One specifically a brain left with a massive brain bleed. And we spent over $100,000 in stem cell injections in Mexico, and doing other different types of things to increase her stem cell production. Nothing came close to what happened to her. Nothing in 15 years until we put on the X39 and the Eon. That Eon reduced that inflammation. Her body's own stem cells were able to get in there and really start to repair, where before they were fighting. So David calls this the dynamic duo. Well, I call it dynamic duo. But David says these two are super important, because if you were to get a stem cell injection, let's say in your shoulder, and you injected 2 million donor stem cells into your shoulder, that area is full of inflammation. You've had a tear, break, something like that. Those stem cells are going to be drawn to that area to repair it, right? Well, maybe you inject 2 million, you're probably less than 200,000. Do you want 2 million stem cells, or do you want 200,000? Or do you want billions of your own? Right? So we're going to use X39 and always partner that with Eon. Eon is a 100% must in my book, so we can help address that inflammation, your C-reactive protein, your cytokines, your lipids, your fibrinogen. You know, fibrinogen is a direct correlation to coronary artery disease, right? Your heart, those blood vessels, it's super important to keep your fibrinogen low, in balance. Most people don't realize what fibrinogen is. It's blood clotting factor, super important, right, Dr. Pam? To keep in check. Okay, most people worry about their cholesterol because we can write a script for that. All right, thank you. So X39 again. Let's continue with the White series. So glutathione, you heard Dr. Nicholas mention glutathione. This is the master antioxidant, master detoxer, master immune booster. Glutathione is present in your body. You have a lot of it when you're younger, and it tends to decline as we age. But you want to hear a fun fact? Those of us that are SPDs and going to be SPDs, we went to Costa Rica last year. Well, we're going to Sardinia and Italy this year for the SPD Summit that David takes us on each year. Both places are what we call a blue zone. If you haven't Googled blue zones, you absolutely should. Blue zones are the oldest people on the planet. They have the highest level of glutathione of anyone on the planet. Think about your longevity. Now, you heard Dr. Nicholas mention that X39 increases your glutathione by 30%, and that glutathione patch increases your glutathione by over 300, 400%. Some of the studies are even over 600% increase your body's own. So we know if you go to the, like even if he does IV vitamin therapy, a push of glutathione is going to increase your glutathione level by 20, 23%. Sustain it for about 7 minutes. 7 minute half-life. Wow, would you like that, or 24 hours? Okay, so glutathione is a fantastic patch when you think about detoxing things in our environment, things in our air, things in our water, those toxins, those neurotoxins that have come into our body from one way or another. Glutathione is a master antioxidant, master detoxer. Antioxidants trump up free radicals. So it should definitely be in your, who was the lady up here earlier that had her basket? Right back here. Yes, the basket. Was that not a great analogy? All right, let's talk about harnessing. This, when I was finishing my PhD for functional med, there was a book called Anti-Aging Medicines. The #1 anti-aging medicine was harnessing. I'm like devouring that chapter. I was sending pictures to Laura. I'm like, oh my God, look at all this research and data on harnessing as the #1 anti-aging medicine. Powerful book. Harnessing is probably the least talked about path, I would say. Probably least talked about antioxidant on the planet, and it is second to glutathione. It's very different. We make harnessing, and again, that starts to decline as we age, whatnot. So elevating your own harnessing level. What is the harnessing responsible for? Are you ready for this? Everything. Everything. Harnessing is super important for your heart. It's super important for your organs, for your muscles, building lean muscle mass recovery. Before we had X49, which again, these are very different peptides, of course, signal different peptides, but harnessing is what we talked about for athletes. I had my 16-year-old using harnessing every day because of basketball and in the gym for recovery time and building that lean muscle mass. But here's something I want you all to make sure you understand for harnessing. We all only have one heart, so we know it helps. It's beneficial for the heart, but we also have one brain. And harnessing is so powerful and impactful for the brain. That patch is the reason why my child was able to speak the last year of her life. That patch. X39 and Eon got things going, got things moving for her, helped in so many ways with her physical body, with her hormones. But harnessing got her to be able to start the words and to communicate with us and communicate with other family members. So think of people you know that have anything with the brain. We're not going to mention any diseases or syndromes or anything like that, but think anything brain, anything neurological, think X39 Eon harnessing. Absolutely. Processing time. You guys say that I talk really fast. I really promise I try to slow it down, but harnessing, man, I finished PhD in 5 months. It's hard to type because I was typing words way ahead of the words I was been typing. That stuff is insane. Okay, so we just harnessing. In the instructional, it says 1 to 3 days, and people ask me this all the time. Can I do it more? Can I do it more? Remember when David, we need to talk to you about the driving book. When David invented this, he invented it for athletes, building lean muscle mass, recovery. Well, he's assuming that most of us don't work out every day. We don't work out every day, right? Existed before that. Okay, you're going to Google it now when you go home. Today, TABATA, Tabata. You can go to YouTube, watch videos, next to Dr. Nicholas's videos. Play them back to back, right? So harnessing is our main pattern for that. But let's move on to give me SP6. How many of you use SP6? Look at the room. SP6 balances the endocrine system. Endocrine, responsible for all these hormones in your body. We'll just leave it at that, right? SP6 is great. Think thyroid, think adrenals. Those are 2 buzzwords right now. Kind of like gluten-free and plant-based. Thyroid, adrenals, definitely SP6. It also helps with all of your organs. Again, huge path of organs. And you can see all the clinical studies. If you go to your website, you can see every study is there, and you can see the information about how they impact your endocrine system and your organs. All right, let's move to you pick. X49. Okay, X49. X49, David briefly mentioned, it signals a daughter peptide, X39, AHKC, your copper peptide. Of course, the studies are amazing separately. But when you put the 2 of them together, it is exponential in what happens. You can see from our studies, even a year out of the clinical studies, with helping to build lean muscle mass, reduce body fat, increase endurance, stamina. This is what I was talking about with your blood pressure. Being able to help neurological benefits from 49 as well as the heart. And of course, we can see big improvements in that weight, meaning the body fat reduction, right? About 11% in the first 60 days. So that's how this woman has gotten. In the gym, the exercise, the things you guys can do is just far exceed what you would normally be able to do using X39 or 49. So fantastic that. Pick another one for you. There we go. Oh, silent nights. Silent nights is a patch. How many of you have issues sleeping? Okay, not anymore, but some still do. Okay, that's right. You know, we know X39 helps with deep REM sleep, but sometimes it's a little bit more than that. Hopefully you have good sleep practices, habits, and things like that, turning your, all that stuff. But anyway, silent nights is a patch you put on at night. Here's the question I get all the time about silent nights. Do I leave it on 12 hours? You should not be sleeping 12 hours. No one hears anything. We're not interested in infants. Nobody's going to be carried around in a carrier and spit them or whatever. So you're going to take your patch off when you wake up in the morning. Put it on under the bed. Pick a spot that's in our instruction booklet. I love the instruction booklet spot in there. Try that spot for 7 days. We see clinical changes in people in 7 days with silent nights. So try that same spot for 7 days. Give it a couple days. Give it 4 days, right? Change the spot. Maybe another acupuncture spot is going to work for you. Different meridians, right? So try a different spot for 7 days. But silent nights is fantastic to help out with that. Who was talking to me earlier about somebody with the cross country? Dr. Ken, was it Dr. Ken? Outside. He was talking about cross country sports, running, people running all night, or like in their sleep schedule, all messed up, and patching for the last 13 years, silent nights with them to be able to help them to sleep on the road, literally. Alameda, oh man. How many of you love Alameda? How many of you stick Alameda on different wrinkles at night? Right? I know a lot of people have gotten rid of the Mariette lines from putting it on one night. I remember Susan Allen, she said she put spring on every single night, and she watched her whole face change from her forehead down to here, and then she watched this whole chest area change, and then all the same thing all the way down. It was like the whole thing, everything went from 70 to like 20. Yeah, with Alameda. So it's skin, it's for the skin, the lines, wrinkles, spots, circles, scars. You think of all the skin issues that people have, the itchy, scratchy stuff. Can't go into the names of them. I think they're disease. Anyway, but yeah, it's Alameda. But here's what I love about Alameda. Age and the skin and what we look like on the outside is actually an inside job. Alameda reduces oxidative stress, inflammatory stress in the body, different than the inflammation with EM because it signals a different peptide. This signals a peptide in your pineal gland, your middle of your brain. Most of you guys know that, right? We're in Arizona. You guys are awake. You know what I'm talking about, that pineal gland connection? Just yes, thank you. Somebody, yes, okay, good. I know you guys, just a donor for you guys not to be into all this stuff too. So I don't think the third eye at night, crazy, you're off in another world, dimension, dreams, all that. How many of you guys have done that? Yeah, you're crazy, right? You're like, I don't need to sleep, I'm traveling. So that's Alameda. See you tomorrow or next universe. We'll see you in the next universe. All right, Nirvana. I call this the bliss patch. Yeah. Right? Nirvana signals the hormones and neurotransmitters in your body to help with the brain, with the mood. We call it our mood bouncer, but think anxiety, severe depression. Think of fear. How many people do you know live in fear, worry, or resentment, shame, or guilt? Those detrimental emotions. Think about rewiring and firing new neural networks, new neural pathways. We know X39 does that, but Nirvana does that. Totally different. So I tell my husband to put one on every morning because he works with a lot of employees. And so his mind is running constantly. He's using carnosine too, but he used to bark a lot of orders. I hear him on the phone. I'm like, we need to take the edge off that. Wear that bliss patch every day. So it's next to his toothbrush with his carnosine and his X39 and X49. He puts his E on at night in bed because he can't shut off his monkey mind. But that nirvana has made a huge difference in his phone conversations that I have to listen to in the evening. Right? That's why I've had to, I haven't had to. Mood stabilizer. All right, I want you to look at ice wave and act like at the same time for me. You heard Dr. Nicholas talk about ice wave. You know it's a tan and a white patch. There are a lot of different placements for ice wave. I'm the girl that says white right, tan left. Raise your right hand. That is the right side of your body. Right patch. Now raise your left hand. Get the tan one and put it on the same spot on the left side of the body. And see what happens. Throw your X39 and Eon on the spot too, and you're just gonna be like dancing around with La La Land. Okay? Or you can do it clockwise, you can move stuff all around, you can do the different methods. David has 4 videos on YouTube, and of course we know Dr. Nicholas has lots of videos too. So you can do lots of different things with ice wave. I'm just white right, tan left. So we're moving on. We don't have time for questions, but we did answer that already. AccuLive is identical to ice wave. That's why I wanted to have these out together. I can't tell you how many times I've been out of ice wave and I've passed my husband when he come home from the golf course with AccuLive because he was being a horse as you know what. Just joking. No. AccuLive is the same as ice wave. It just can't be registered something for animals or pets that's registered for people. So and I love the first meeting that I heard David, somebody asked, well, if I'm a larger person, I swear to God, they said, if I'm a larger person, should I use AccuLive over ice wave? This is for horses, all those great horses veterinarians. No, it works the same, no matter what. Same thing. AccuLive, ice wave, use it all. I love catching people with AccuLive. I'm like, this is our animal, our horse packs. Same thing, but it's just fun. All right, perfect. Yeah. Energy. The one that started it all. Energy. Because X39 is so much energy. You know what I love about energy enhancer, and I'm going to talk to just real quick on what Dr. Nicholas was asked about people that have longer symptoms from colds and bugs and flus and viruses and stuff. Okay, so energy enhancer loves to not only trigger beta oxidation, which turns body fat into fuel. Hello, burns an extra 3,600 calories a day. Get out your phones, order your energy enhancer right now. 3,600 calories a day, but it also turns over your lymphatic system. If you're familiar with your lymphatic system, you all have one, we should be familiar with it. It helps to flush out those toxic things in your body. Moving fluids out, stuck fluid. All right, so turning over that lymphatic system, which you should be doing from your exercise. You're exercising, that turns over your lymphatic system. If not, you're going to start exercising. Go for a walk. I don't mean you have to join a gym. Go for a walk, throw some YouTube up on your phone and go to business, get your business done, right? Whatever. But energy enhancer is what started it all. Like Connie said when David was working with the Navy SEALs. But it has so many benefits for the body. I like using mine either here on the lung points if you have any residual in your lungs. It's fantastic to clear that out. It's also great if you have, we see a lot of people that stomach 36 point on the knees. Remember, energy enhancers, white right, tan left. And you don't get to mix it around different places. Pick one of the spots in the book, okay? But it's great for energy, like more of a fast energy, endurance, and stamina. When you put it on this spot, we seem to find for people. But it works no matter what for that stamina and that endurance. So you don't have the afternoon lulls, okay? And that's kind of the main reason for it, right? And that's why the Olympians use it. That's why my son on the basketball court would use it, because he couldn't take a break, couldn't sit down. And so energy enhancer kept him going. That was our very first patch. Yes. That's why we're all here. Real quickly, Alameda has a day and a night serum, day and a night cream, day and night nectar, whatever you want to call it. It's fantastic for the youth renewal on the face or the back of the hands. Definitely use it there. Thank you. That's all we're going to say. It's amazing. Get it. If you don't have the elevated trio yet, you absolutely should, because this will last you at least 2 months, and you get 2 months worth of patches in the trio. It's a must. And the last thing, the most recent thing that David has invented. How many of you love Shine and Dream? How many of you sniffed this morning? Twice. Yes, yes. Okay, so Shine and Dream. Shine is morning, daytime, or before a workout. Increases your oxytocin. We know it's amazing for that energy, happy connection, feel good. Dream is your nighttime. So for those of you, again, with the sleep, want to have a really deep REM sleep, put Dream on once you get into bed, because you're going to be drifting off quickly, right? But we know that David actually invented these patches because of his age, and he'll be 60 next month. How many of you guys are going to be in Aruba with us? Okay, fantastic. So he invented these because of his hormones, and he wanted to balance his own hormones naturally. So if David invented this for himself, then he decided not to be selfish and keep it because it was so amazing. That's why he brought it to market last fall. How many of you guys took advantage of the promo with Shine and Dream Energy Enhancer and Silent Nights? Whoop, whoop. That was a crazy promo. Crazy, amazing promo, right? So thank you, beautiful Vanna. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's a quick summary of LifeWave patches. All right, and now we are going to have to the stage. Okay, so I want to give a I want you guys to really get your hands together for this couple that is in our upline that has been instrumental in making sure that all of us come together as a team to work together as a team. I met them for the first time about 1.5 years ago at the first leadership retreat, and we really got to know each other at Costa Rica last year and spend a lot of time together. So we are super grateful to have the long-term in business, and you're going to hear so much from them in network marketing and what they have done and how they have built and crazy amazing over the years. And in LifeWave, 5 years, close to 5 years in LifeWave now, have built a massive organization with such heart and caring. We're just so grateful to have Robin and Gregory Mascari here. So come on up, please.
Wow, isn't she amazing? Around for Stacy, please. Oh my gosh, there's Connie, Dr. Holweger. It's been a joy for us. Oh, this is really fun. So how about a big deep breath? That's for me. So I wanted to start out and share that most of you in this room are here because of my left knee. Anyone have knee issues? It's amazing. I'm known as the knee lady. And I used to ski really fast and did some damage on the knees a few times and needed 2 knee replacements. I had 1 and it was horrific. Anyone had a bad experience with a knee replacement? Oh, good. Oh, yeah. So I spent a year in recovery, crying, got kicked out of physical therapy, and I still needed another one. That was the problem, right? I did not want to go through this again. So I started researching stem cells and thought, what a great solution. And I went to several seminars and I did research and I picked out what I wanted. And like we heard earlier, I didn't want my old stem cells. I wanted younger, newer ones that were more effective. So I picked it out, and then we got that amazing call. Oh, $12,500 for a single injection with no guarantee. No guarantee. But he was willing because he's the one who suffered from what I was going through. So I said, okay. And then I got this call from a friend who,
Connie Jacobson.
and who had been with the company since the beginning, and he said, our company is a new technology that's activating your own stem cells with light from your body. And I went, how fast can I get it? I didn't ask one question. This is the kind of sale you want to have. I didn't ask one question. I didn't ask how much it was, what medium it was in. I said, I want it. Put it here, top of the spine, like all of you guessed, Scott. And a week later, it was a week later, he did not tell me about any other patches. A week later, my knee pain was gone. I know. Now, it is amazing. Now, he could have told me about Ice Wave and Eon and up, but he stayed with X39. And we do recommend that most everyone start with just X39 for the first 60 to 90 days, because it will help all the other patches be more effective. And so I spent 90 days.
And it will help your business be more effective.
That's a really important point. If you're wanting to, and we're going to talk about, are we going to talk about
Well,
that?
let me just give a little background on the company. Prior to us getting there, the company had what Dr. Nicholas, 9 patches, and was just cruising along, doing a nice job, but not making any waves in the water. And the company was doing about $2 million a month in sales back in 2018. And we got in, you know, Robin had her knee experience at the beginning of November 2018. And it's like, wow, she couldn't stop talking about it. Well, and that was just the launch of X39. We were blessed to get involved in the beginning of the launch. And so, Gerrit, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in February, we were doing over $1 million a day. That's 15 times growth in the last 4 years. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but between 60 and 70% of that is X39. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a clue. That's why all of you, I encourage you to do what we did and many others have also done. It's a single product focus in a multi-product company. Now, we as distributors, we use them all. But there's a difference in what you use and what you do. Because it's like, LifeWave used to be a smorgasbord of patches. And you know, we all love smorgasbords every now and then, but you know, sometimes you just want a juicy steak. And you know, God bless David, his greatest accomplishment yet, with an emphasis on yet, we all know that, X39.
And so at the conference in 2019, they gave an award for the people that made it to the top rank in less than a year. And there were 5 of them, and all 5 were on our team. And all these people that had been around for a while said, what are you doing? You know, they hadn't made it to the top level. And we just
because when X39 came on, they had a whole plate full of patches, and they added another one on the plate. And they continued going out and says, look at all the patches I have, look at all the patches. And when we came on, we says, there aren't any other patches. And we just kept that focus. So our team kept that focus. And you know, the rest of the more elderly or experienced LifeWave experiences distributors have come along, haven't they? They've learned the lesson.
And years ago, when I started in network marketing professionally, it was over 20 years ago, someone said, find a mentor. And then 4 years later, I married her. And so.
Oh, and we met at a business opportunity meeting just like this. I was on the stage and Robin was in the front row. One of my best presentations for sure. It was a slow close though.
It was 2 years before we had the lifting of the veil, like, oh, it's you. And I hadn't been married before. I got married for my first time at age 51. Wow. I know. Wow was right. We say wow a lot in this business.
That was almost 18 years ago.
But what I learned from Gregory, and I learned a ton that comes out of my mouth all the time, is that, you know, to be successful in the business, you need to keep it really simple and duplicatable. And when you look at all the other patches, people get confused. And so if you keep it really simple, the beauty of X39, you can put it anywhere and it's gonna work. As soon as it's 3 inches from your body, it's systemic throughout your whole energy system. Keep it simple if you want to build a business. And I work with a lot of our practitioners, which is interesting because they're used to being an expert. And in network marketing, if you're talking, you're pointing to a tool. That is Darren Hardy quote. And so it's important to know when it's time to be the expert with your patients and clients and when it's time to put on the other half of that single product focus and pointing to tools. So fast forward, my knee got better. I was a customer. Hey, Dr. Nicholas, you forgot to share your great line.
I yelled out, best customer ever when you got him on the stage.
Dr. Nicholas is our sponsor. And how blessed am I, huh? And we didn't know each other. Our friend Kai gave the sponsorship away because he wasn't active in the business. And so we worked together a lot in the early days. I was on three-way calls, I don't know, 3 to 5 times a day. I got an amazing education, as you can see. I hardly ever talk to him anymore. He's too busy. He's available if I want him. Yes, but I love my term best customer ever because I started as a customer. I had no intention of building a business, but I couldn't not share. And I had such results, and I was very high profile in other companies, so I couldn't openly share. So I had to be very, very discreet. And everyone else had amazing results. And I went, uh-oh. So that was in November of 2018 when I started using the patches. And by the end of February, I went, this is just too important to not share with people.
And during that process, I renamed the company. Because Robin got so excited what she was doing, I had to start calling the company Wife Wave.
He wasn't involved at the time. He was watching me. He was supporting me.
Yeah, I was very excited about her progress.
And fast forward, I did actually have to have another knee replacement because if I didn't, my knee had become so deformed from being bone on bone for so long, I would have lost my ability to walk. So I got another knee replacement. But different than the first one, after 3 weeks, I was off my meds, I was off my walker, and off my cane. A year and a half of extra stem cells made a huge difference. And both Gregory and I have been through, this is a stage 4 lung cancer survivor. If we have a chance, we threw the book at it. And we're not making any claims here at all, but he had to get better to take care of me for my second knee replacement. So. And now I'm able to get back to my athletic self, and I took on, does anyone know what skate skiing is? Yeah. It's intense. Does anyone do it? Anyone? I don't see any hands here. In Arizona, it's probably, not. It's a cross-country skiing and a skating motion, and it's a major, and I just turned 69 the other day. And so I'm now skate skiing, I'm doing Pilates several times a week, I'm working out with a trainer, I'm getting strong again. So I'm thrilled to have my athletic self back again, which I lost with 2 bad knees. So let's see.
So I just want to give a shout out to Marci and Peter and Dr.Staci and for working with us to put this wonderful event together and bringing so many of you here and also embracing the beauty of simplicity, and the systems that they have developed and many of you use are, we're on the same track. We were doing the same thing with other portions of our group. And now we're working together. We're so excited. So
yes,
thank you.
We're thrilled.
Thank you. We just
that we get to work with it. An acknowledgement to Marci. She probably has more SPDs than anyone in the whole company. Shout out to Marci. You want to look at what's working and do some of that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we're going to go through just a little quick, the 3-3 daily action plan. And most everybody in here is familiar with the 3-3 daily action plan, but we have some new people in the room. How many people are new within the last week? Raise your hand.
wow.
All right, so
Congratulations.
congratulations. So this is just because we know we have new people joining all the time, and we love you and congratulations. Welcome to the community and the opportunity. So we're just going to do a real quick, about a 10-minute overview of this very simple system. If you learn this and you just do this, you will succeed. You'll be up here in not too long, okay? So
Remember success, simplicity, and duplication. Remember that.
So the
This is
3-3-3, and this wraps around something that we learned from one of our mentors. Success is not magical, it's mathematical, okay? It's not magical, it's mathematical. And this 3-3-3 is the mathematics of success in our business here. So it's, talking about contacting 3 people a day, following up with 3 people a day, and inviting 3 people. So we're going to just talk briefly about that.
So let's start out with contact. Okay, this is, I think people forget this. It's a relationship business first and foremost. So you need to connect. Well, who are you going to connect with? And when I was new in this profession, I knew nothing. I had no training. I had no support. My upline knew nothing in this other company. And I probably fell in every landmine that you can fall in, but I learned a lot. And what I did is I went to my favorite people and I just said, I'm about to take the ride of my life and I want to share it with you, Peter. And they all joined. I didn't know what I was doing, but I picked my favorite people because in this profession, you have the opportunity to cherry pick your business partners. And I say, pick ye wisely. What are the qualities and characteristics of the kind of people you want in your business? And ultimately, I have this whole list. I want people that are professional and coachable and willing to be a student and follow a system. But ultimately, when I look at my caller ID, am I excited to pick up the phone? Okay? Because it's Dr. Pam on the phone. I love it when she calls. And so we get to cherry pick our business partners. And from that place, you want to reach out. You want to have your list of the people you want to share with. You also want to be thinking about who would be open to this, who is open, who is coachable, who could use the products. So when I talk to people and they say, well, what are you doing? Now, what are you doing, Robin? Has anyone ever heard that one? And, Gregory and I have been networking professionals for over 50 years together, between us, not 50 years, but between us, marketing cutting-edge health products. And there's nothing that holds a candle to this. And so, when people say, well, what are you doing? I say, I'm marketing a historic breakthrough in affordable stem cell technology. And then they give me this look like, huh? I want to know more. So I know my job is to give people enough of the right information to make an informed decision. So I ask them. And I'd ask Dr. Pam, do you like a lot, a little, or somewhere in between? So you would say what? A lot. And I would assume that being a scientist and a doctor, but then there was me at the total opposite spectrum. How fast can I get it? So I didn't get any information. It was a trusted friend. So you want to give people, and then we send videos from the app. How wonderful. And so we have a few different approaches. So we want to pique people's interest. You've heard several times today. What do you know about stem cells? And then people go, some people know a lot, some people know a little, some people have had injections, they've worked, they haven't worked. But a lot of people, if you ask them to define stem cells, they couldn't. But we know we all started as a stem cell, every one of us. Isn't that fun to think about? And so there's 2 approaches, and Gregory's going to talk about the patching approach, because some people, build their business very, very successfully by patching 3 people a day, 3-3-3. I didn't do that, but some of the most successful people in the business do that.
I just want to say, I think the 2 most powerful tools that we have is X39 and the InTouch app, okay? Because in my networking career, I've owned my own fulfillment center. We used to send out hundreds and thousands of video cassettes. Then it was audio cassettes. Then it was CDs. Then it was DVDs. And it was all expensive to do. And the problem we always had is we never knew when they watched it. You never knew, you know, and most of the time they didn't, right? And now, you know, say, you know, what do you know about stem cells? Well, it sounds interesting. Hey, I tell you, I'm really busy right now. Let me shoot you a short little video. If it piques your interest, let's talk. And boom, in 30 seconds, you send them a video and next. And the app, if that person watches it, goes bing. And I know a lot of brand partners, one of the most exciting parts of this business, and when your app goes bing, somebody's watching a video, you know, and that's building the business. And you know what? If it doesn't go bing, that's a clue they didn't watch it. You know, so you get to call them back, say, did you get a chance to watch a video? And you know they didn't, right? Or you get a ping and they watch the video and you go in the app and you look and go, oh, they watched 10%, right? Because you know that too. So it's kind of like, wait, I think, you know, and it's really cool because if you get a ping and you send them a 3-minute video, you call them in 4 minutes, say, hey, did you get a chance to watch the video?
And something that I learned from my mentor here is never end one exposure without setting up the next. And so when you're talking to someone and you've taken the time to learn what's important to them, you know, the question we like to ask, if there was one thing that would make the biggest difference in your health, what would it be and how would that change your life? And so you want to get to know what's important to them and what's going to make a difference. And so a lot of times people say, well, people aren't watching the video. And I know that they didn't take enough time up front to find out what's important because here's their problem and here's where they want to be. And the patch is the bridge. But if they don't see it as a bridge because we haven't taken the time with them to find out what's important, then they may not watch. And so you never end one exposure without setting up the next. So I'm going to say, Gerrit, when in the next day or so, keep the exposures close together. You'll need less exposures. The average person needs 4 to 8 exposures, not so much with LifeWave, but the average person. So when in the next day or so will you be able to watch this video? And he says, well, I could probably watch it tonight, right?
Now, for some people, the hardest part of the business is getting people to watch the video. Can anybody relate to that? Okay. So one way to get people to watch the video is saying, hey, I'd be happy to send you a sample. And everybody says yes. Oh, a sample? Sure, I'd love to have a sample. Great. I'm going to go ahead and send you a video. And after you watch it, let's chat. And if you want, I'll send you a sample. We recommend you don't sample people. It's different when you're face to face with someone. I mean, just keep on patching, okay? Just keep on patching. But a lot of us are talking to people that are across town or across the country or across the ocean, right? And so that's where the videos come in really strong, that you can connect with your old friends and family, no matter where they are, and pique their interest. Now, Robin doesn't have to offer anybody a sample because she's so amazing. I mean, she just connects heart to heart, face to face, or across the country. And so she's very successful without offering samples, but you know, not everybody has that skill set. A lot of people can't say a prayer in church, you know? So they're, you know, say, well, just offer them a sample and then send them a video. And everybody can do that, okay? And that gets it going. If somebody's, in my opinion, if they're not willing to spend 3 minutes to watch a video, I'm not willing to spend $3 to send them a patch, right? I mean, that's just a cardinal rule. But then once they watch it, many times you won't have to send a patch because they'll get so excited that they're going to. So I say, after they watch the video, take the next step. So let's move on. The next step is after you've sent the video. Robin does a non-patching approach because she's just really good, okay?
So let me just share what I say, because after people ask what I'm doing and I share the line I shared about marketing a historic breakthrough in affordable technology, they want more information. I say I'm going to send you a few short videos. I'm going to have a 3-minute video, which is an introduction, and I'm going to follow it up with an 18-minute video that gives the benefits. Everyone wants to know what's in it for me. So I send them both, and I can't tell you how many times I get text back, how do I get this? it's amazing the videos work. And I want to acknowledge this guy because if it wasn't for him spending a year working with the company to get them to adopt the app, we wouldn't have it. Most people don't know that. He likes to quietly be behind the scenes, affecting everyone, helping everyone. So let's move on.
Balancing my checkbook. No. So the next step, follow-up. You know, you've got someone in motion, you send them the video or you patch them. You want to set up, just as Robin says, you never end one exposure without scheduling the next. When's a good time to follow up? And you get back with them, and the goal is to enroll or invite them to another presentation. In your follow-up, that's the goal of follow-up. If they're not ready to enroll, you take them to the next step. But we found, and this Robin pointed out, as you say, the fortune's in the follow-up, and Robin says, but the friendship's in the follow-up too. So now we've recoined it, the fortune and the friendship is in the follow-up. So think about that. The goal is to develop long-term, mutually rewarding relationships.
And people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. So taking the time to connect, you know, every time you connect with someone, there's a string between you. And the more you connect, it turns into a cord that you could never cut. So caring about people, I think we've heard this, who was it, Teddy Roosevelt?
Yes.
Yes. Say
Teddy
the quote.
Roosevelt.
Share the quote. People
don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And the way we show people we care in this business is be diligent and keep our commitment to follow up. And that's building a relationship. You know, whether you're courting a future potential spouse or a future potential partner, you want to keep your commitments, right? You want to keep your commitments. So,
and some people resist following up because they don't want to be a pest. Anyone know that one? So Gregory coined this term, being professionally persistent. And it's really true. I really appreciate when people follow up because we are busy. We got so many distractions, but I so appreciate the people that get back to me.
So the point I want to make, when you're doing the follow-up, if they're ready to enroll, you don't have to do another presentation. You don't have to do a three-way call, okay?
You don't have to invite them to a webinar. Take the order.
But many times on that second call, they're not ready, and that's where the third step comes in. Invite them to a presentation. Everybody in this room has up teams that are doing calls and webinars and everything else. So invite them to a webinar or invite them to an event like this, a meeting or event. Might be a home meeting, might be meeting up at Starbucks for a coffee. And then, or do a three-way call. And three-way calling is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. And too many times I hear people say, oh, I don't want to bother you. It's not a bother. Because if you enroll something, we get paid.
We love doing three-way calls, and that's what most of our time is spent doing.
So we got to bring it to a wrap because we have a little more to do before we break and eat. But the goal is 3 contacts a day, 3 follow-ups a day, and 3 invites a day. And if you would commit to that, I promise you're going to be on the fast track to success. But maybe say, hey, you know, I've got 2 other jobs and 3 kids, and that's just too much. Well, maybe instead of 3-3-3, you do 2-2-2. Maybe if you're really busy, at least commit to 1-1-1. If you can't get somebody to commit to 1-1-1, 2-2-2, or ideally 3-3-3, next, okay? Next. They're really
non-attachment.
Some will, some won't.
So what? Some are waiting. Next. Yes.
So I think that's pretty much what we had to share today. So again, success is not magical, it's mathematical. And God bless you, Marci, and your team for putting these numbers together.
You guys, is that not amazing? So grateful for you guys. 3-3-3. We can all get that done, right? Yes. Okay, so our next section, we're having a panel up here, but we are going to do some giveaways. Yes, get your tickets out. We're going to get the chairs up here. All right, you got your tickets? Ready for mixing them up? You see this? Look, Mixing them up. Free X39. Free sleeve of X39. 046. 046. Brad. Yay! Free X49. 300. 300. X49. A free sleeve of X49. X49? Yes? Is that you? Nope, she's going to the bathroom. All right, moving on. 285. 295. Both of you come up. My error. 285, 295. See, that's your chart. You just do whatever you want. You both get free. One X39, one X49. Where's 295? Oh, are they gone? Go 295? Call your own number out. 211. 211. 211. Once, going twice. Next. Got an X49 to give away. 299. 299. Yay! All right, let's give away some hats. We have some swag. Now look at these SPDs that are going to be up there in just a second. They're excited about their questions. You guys, how many of you guys asked business questions when you came in? Anybody ask a business question for your product only? Oh, well, we have business questions for you. Perfect. All right, hats. Here we go. You ready? Hats 059. 059. 059. All right. Here we go. More hats. Listen up. 128. 128. Perfect. 184. 184. 264. 264. Yay! And 311. 311. Come on up. 311. Thank you. See Miss Laura. Laura's back there. Miss beautiful Laura. My van, you can drop it right there, and Laura's right back there. Perfect. Last hat. Perfect timing. Okay. Thank you, Laura. We have more to give away. Don't worry. Don't worry. We have more to give away. But before we do, we have an SPD panel here. Some people that are going to be sharing their tips on this business with you. Marci has some questions. Marci Preble, come up here, please. She's working. Look at her out there in the crowd. She's out there passing out order forms and sugar sheets. Okay, so Marci Preble is a mother of 3 beautiful boys. 1 child recovered from autism. She herself is a breast cancer survivor. Yes. She loves to create in business. And when her dear friend showed her a way to help her own body through X39, she said, this is our purpose. We need to share this technology with the world. And so we did. She has been with LifeWave for over 3 years. To the highest paid rank, obviously a senior presidential director in the company. She has over 45,000 distributors in her organization and generates over 2 million in volume a month. In her organization a month. She loves to create systems and tools for brand partners to help them become financially safe and financially free. And most of all, I love this woman so much. How many of you ever been in a company before where you didn't have someone in your upline there to help you, right? My sponsor is here, April Vaughn, who is absolutely insanely incredible. She signed up the day before I did. So we knew nothing. And so I reached up and I got amazing help from Kathleen and Wendy about the products. They guided me immediately on what to do with my daughter, Taylor. And I'm forever grateful for that. But this woman here was there when I said I have questions about this business, this compensation plan that I printed out. I watched her video with Peter No in 15 minutes. I'm like, I need a meeting immediately. And she has been here every single step of the way for me and my team to help and to guide, and everyone else has a huge part of this, of my success and what I'm doing. So thank you, Marci. Call up your SPDs, girlfriend. We can't wait to hear.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. It's so good to be here. And so I'm honored to call up some senior presidential directors. They have all reached the very highest rank in the company. And it was actually Laura that said, let's do a panel so we can all share about what we've been doing these last couple of years. And I said, what a great idea. And so I'm just going to ask all their SPDs to come and sit. Peter No, could you come sit? Wendy Morgan, Tom, Kathleen Nichols, Juliana Coles, Dr. Rhonda Donahue. Boy, do we have some of our SPDs. Bob Campbell. So, Laura Balzer, April Ross. We should have a total of 8 of you. There's so many. Juliana Coles is going to fill the seats up wherever you guys want to sit. There we go. We can count. So this is going to be really fun. These are not only senior presidential directors, but these are our business partners and my best friends. And I couldn't do this business without all of you. I love you guys. Like, we are a crew, right? And because we all work together, we are creating so much for all of you, right? So we're going to start our first question, and my back's kind of turned over here. Are you guys okay with that? How do I do that, Stace? We don't like that, do we? Move my chair. Have to move my chair out. I'll stand. Yeah, I'll just stand. And if I fall off the stage, I'll break my other two. And you can all see us now. That's better. Okay. That's important in family, to see each other. Okay, so Peter No, you are my very first question, but before I ask him this question, I'm going to tell you about this. I've known Peter for 15 years. We've been in many different network marketing companies together, and he is a good friend and a business partner. We were actually in different lines in other companies, but we always said to each other, if we could all only work together where we could just love on people and have fun and no ego, wouldn't that be great? And we did finally find it. He's been in the industry for 20 years, a network marketer. He started as a barber for 10 years. And so he's always understood how to be an entrepreneur. He loves learning and experiencing. And ladies, any of you are single? He's enjoying the bachelor life. I think he's
every day.
Oh dear.
In people's minds every day.
So here is your question, Peter No.
Hey.
You've been talking a lot about this PPP. What is peak pre-qualifying and packing? What is that?
Oh, that is my favorite topic. So, for a real quick question, does everybody like to work hard? No, right? We like to work smart, right? So just like any job, any business, everything we do, there's systems, there's duplication involved. So we figured out here, just like what Gregory and Robin were teaching, is 3-3-3, do 3 daily actions, right? But how do you connect with people? So I want everyone put on your real estate hat, okay? Real estate agents. How many people know real estate agents here? Raise your hand. Everyone knows a real estate agent, right? Now I want you to pretend you're a broker. You're a broker. Who here are brokers? What are brokers' job to do? Train your real estate agents to make sure that they take care of their clients, right? To take them around, show them homes, find the ones they like. Now, the first one is called a peak. Is a real estate agent going to drive someone who doesn't want to buy a house around? Really? Are you sure? We want to make sure, right? A real estate agent is not going to drive someone that does not want to buy a house. So they have to do what? They have to ask that person, are you open to investments? Are you open to purchase a home, correct? That is called a peaking question. You got to make sure you're asking the right question to pique that person's mind if that's what they want to talk about. Does everybody understand? If you're not doing that, then what are you doing? You're convincing. Does anybody want to convince? Do you want, no, right? You want to be sold to. Okay, nobody wants to be a car salesman, correct? Meaning sell you something that you don't want to buy. So why would you want to talk about to someone if they don't want to talk about that subject? So you have to ask what? What have you heard about stem cells? I need to pique you. Does that make sense? After I find out what have you heard, there's only two answers, yes and a no. I've heard what stem cells are. I don't know what stem cells are. If you heard what stem cells are, you know they're expensive, invasive, cost a lot of money. You're taking somebody's DNA and putting it to yours, correct? If you have not heard what stem cells are, when you're 20 years old, did you have gray hair, wrinkles, pain? No. After 35, 50% is gone. After 65, up to 90% gone. Done. Now, after I say that, then I ask that person, hey, what if I told you there is a technology in the market where we can turn on your own stem cells? That is another peaking question. So I like to peak. What have you heard about stem cells? Peak. There's a technology out there. If you like this, then I have to pre-qualify you. So for example, does any real estate agent drive around clients that if I don't know your FICO score or if you can afford to purchase the house? Have you ever met an agent that drives someone around that cannot afford the house? Okay, yes? They're not here today, I can promise you. So, okay. Or you might fire that broker that taught you that. So, everyone, now you got to pre-qualify. You pique their interest. How do you pre-qualify? Send them to a website. We like to send them to our website, startx39now.com. Send them a video from the app, whatever you feel like that can pre-qualify them. Have them watch that. And we have a testimonial call we do that we send our partners to and our guests. If they watch that, they get on the website. Hey, Gregory, if you like this, can I send you a website so you can hear more information and review it for yourself? After you like that, is Gregory pre-qualifying? If he calls me back. If he doesn't call me back, then we're done. If he calls me back, Gerrit, he's pre-qualified. Gregory, after you see this, I will show you how to order this at wholesale cost. Does that make sense, everyone? Pre-qualify, and you slide them into the package. If you're really good at that, it's easy to sign them up. If you're not good at that, learn that first. Because who wants to work hard? Okay, you want to work smart? Do that way.
All right, Peter. Wow, everybody get that?
Yeah. So we have beautiful April Vaughn here. She has been in health and education for over 20 years, and she has a real passion in her heart to help others. She came into this business because she herself has had a debilitating rheumatoid arthritis, so bad she couldn't get out of bed. Her inflammation was so bad. And her kids also had some other stuff going on. And so when she found X39, it was life-changing. April has been a professional network marketer for 20 years. And if you know April, April's just a Southern girl, and whatever she tells you to do, you're just going to do it. And it's true. And so anyway, why don't you, April, tell us a little bit about the tools that you like to use and why.
Okay. Thank you so much, Marci. I guess you can't tell I'm a Southern girl. But anyway, when I first, like Marci was saying, when I first found LifeWave, I was really sick. And so my friend Linda that gave me the patches, she was using them. She wasn't doing the business at the time. And she just handed me 3 X39, 3 Eon, and 3 Alavita. So I went home that night and I got straight on the computer and I just turned the patch over because that's all I had. And I just read, I put an X39 on YouTube. And the very first thing that came up was David Smith talking on one of his Zooms that he did during the lockdown, you know, all the COVID times. And it was so good. And I was just blown away with this information. And then I turned over the next patch and it said Eon. So I looked up that one and I was like, wow, my mind was blown talking about all these things these patches can do. And the next one, Alavita. And then I was just seeing others that were popping up. I watched one on the energy enhancers. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning by now because I was just like, I felt like this was something, because I'd done everything there was, because like she said, I've had rheumatoid, lupus, Lyme disease, diabetes, all these things for 20 years. So I was really, really sick. And so I couldn't believe that something so simple that how could I not know about this? I was just really, how in the world could there be something out there that was so effective, so amazing, had been around all these years, backed up by all this research. How could I possibly not know about this? And so I went down the line and I was just, energy enhancer, that was blew me away. You know, all the different ones. And so then I was like, well, the others have talked about just ignorance on fire. You don't wait. You just lock arms with 2 people right out of the gate and you just say, Stacy, I started texting Dr. Staci right away and my girlfriend Charity and a friend. I said, y'all, watch this video, research this with me. This is amazing. Let's learn about this because, you know, her daughter needed it. My friend Charity needed it for her heart. I did not even know this was never one of them. I had no idea. I was only looking at the research. I didn't even know the price. I didn't care about the price. The price, it was like, I needed this for myself, for my healing. And then, thank goodness, Wendy called me a few days later and she just put together a gold pack for me. I just said, great, fine, give her my credit card number, didn't even think about it. So that's one of the tools. Y'all, is the patches. That's your first tool that I would use. That's our whole product. That's just so simple. On one page, we have all our products. We don't have a big catalog. We don't have tons of information. Just a one page with everything and all this information. So send people that want to research, and the YouTube LifeWave Health channel is fabulous. There's so much there. There's all our LifeWave Connects. So David Smith, once a month, if you're not familiar with that, once a month, he's going to do a training on all of the different patches. He's going to go through different ones, and he's done them over and over, and he keeps adding more each time he does one because we have new studies that come out. So watch that. That's a powerful tool for you to grow your business and to share with others. And then once a month also we do a business connect. And last week, Robert and I were, and I think the ladies were here too. We were featured all there last week. It was lots of fun with Gerrit and our new Meredith joined us. We had lots of fun. That's one tool. The other is the huge one. So who all's registered for conference? That's like the biggest tool. I mean, oh my goodness, that's coming up in October. So make sure you register for that. The LifeWave channel, the LifeWave the Connect, the YouTube channel. Am I forgetting any of the other tools? The patches, the before and afters, the health tracker, amazing. Stacy and I just grabbed on that right out of the beginning because that's the whole appointment in itself is the health tracker. I love that. And where are you going to find the health tracker? On my other favorite, absolute favorite tool that Robin and Gregory just talked about is the LifeWave app. I use that every single day. It's free. You just download it and you meet someone wherever they are. If they're in your contacts on your phone, you just simply go to it. They're in your contacts. You can send them a video just in a moment. And all the instructions for the patches, where to place the patches. Several great ones of David explaining the technologies there. I love Iron Man. That's one of my favorites. That one too, if anyone's an athlete, that's a great one to send to someone because he talks about how much he spent on stem cells. And then how effective this was. Someone reached out to him through social media. And this was the answer to what he'd been looking for so he could get back in the game and have that competitive edge again. So those are some of my favorite tools. Anything else that I left out?
I think you did real good. So now we're actually going to move it down to Laura. And Laura has been in the health and wellness field for 35 years. She herself has done very well dealing with some of her recovery from some breast issues. And she has been in the network marketing space for over 13 years. And She is a leader and a trainer in this company and a huge entrepreneur. And she's always like, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? Where do you need me? And I just so appreciate that. And so Laura, your question is how do really, because she is the most organized person I've ever met. So how she even gets us all lattes and she makes them for us. Like, I don't even know how to use that machine. So how do you keep yourself organized? Oh my gosh, free coffee for it.
So who in here feel like they're just not organized people? It's totally chaotic. If you saw my desk, you wouldn't believe the same thing about me. Okay, so I use three major things. The first thing I use to organize is this simple little notebook. I have hundreds of them, right? So when I first started in the business, I was sampling a lot. I just got to work. I wish somebody a happy birthday, I send them samples. I said, how are you? They got samples, right? And so in this book, I would have their name with their address beside it and what I sent them and the date that I sent them, right? That worked really well in the beginning. And then it got crazy busy. But I kept the same tool. And instead of having 50 people on a page, I now have 2 people on a page. Okay, with the minute they start talking to me, their name goes on, they're telling me their symptoms, that goes on one side of it, and I immediately start writing down the patches that they're going to use. Now, if you notice, I'm already speaking that they've already ordered, they don't even know they've ordered yet, right? So the power of suggestion is very powerful for not only them, but for you and how you speak to them. Right? It gives you confidence, which makes them feel good, and then they trust you, right? So that works very, very well. They go to order, I write down all their information. If they're not comfortable with the credit card thing, we work that out in between us, but that order goes in immediately. So this notebook travels very well, goes through TSA, super easy, it's not a big deal, right? But then you've got to follow up like Robin and Gregory were talking about. So you've got to find out the way that works well for you. And for me personally, with my personally enrolled teams and customers, we have an amazing back office, you guys. Use it. It's there for you. I love it. But if I follow up with my clients and my distributors, I go to my personally enrolled team. Okay, so you go to organization, you click the top, the menu comes down, you click personally enrolled team. Well, that is kind of my indicator on if I do not have somebody set up on a monthly subscription, that tells me that they're close to running out of their patches when I see that little yellow yield sign. This is another thing that keeps me organized that's easy, right? With not a lot of paperwork, without a lot of writing. So I will call that person personally and I will check in on them. How are you? How's the patching? How's graduation? Fantastic. But then I say, if my records serve me correctly, you're about 7 to 10 days out of running out of some patches. Let me know what that is. I'll put that order in today. Right? Today, not next Thursday, right? I let them know when it has to go in. They call me back if I'm not talking to them. Oh, Laura, yeah, you're right. I need this, and this. Perfect, I'll take care of it. Why? Because I have all their information in the book. I know exactly what I need to put them in, and they feel like they're being taken care of. And when they feel like they're being taken care of, your retention on your business skyrockets. Somebody cares because I'm pretty sure somebody in their house hasn't said how amazing you are today, right? So they have me in their life or us or y'all, make them feel good. Let them trust you, build the friendship, again, that Gregory and Robin were speaking of. That's what creates it. And when we walk with them on this journey and not behind them, they'll be on these patches forever. Okay. Now, just recently, I incorporated my 3rd huge organization.
because Dr. Staci told me all about it, right? It is an app that you can download on your phone. It's called Project Broadcast. It is $98 a year. It's a business expense. Please get it right now. Okay? Even if you're brand new, bite the bullet. Get it, because one morning you're going to wake up and you're going to go from 10 people in your business to 500 people in your business. And it happens that quick. And then you're in total chaotic mode. Don't wait to get in chaotic mode, okay? Because you're able to take your list of clients, your list of brand partners, and take it from your back office and immediately transport it into that app. And you can label all your different tags, if you will: customer, brand partner, this team, that team. And I just recently pulled in all the managers in my downline, which I really had no idea. It was kind of embarrassing. I did not realize how many managers I had, right? Because people are rolling people every single day. I need to have contact with these people. I pulled all my directors in. The beautiful thing about this app, you guys, is that when you send out a mass text or a mass email, they believe it's coming from an individual text. And again, that makes them feel very, very special, right? And that's follow-up of that 333. And mind you, the follow-up does not always have to be about the patches. It does not always have to be about the business. It can be about, hey, I just want to remind you how important it is for you to be drinking your water. And you might list 5 attributes why it's so important. Right? Half the time older people have vertigo, it's just because they're dehydrated. But we all know their doctor puts them on a prescription, right? And just a whole bunch of things, right? Respectfully so, I say that. So you guys, these are the 3 tools that I use. Notebook, my back office, brilliant, and this Project Broadcast. It is an amazing app, and just you can constantly add to it. So you never feel overwhelmed. You can keep up with your people. They feel that they can trust you, whether they're your brand partner or whether they're your client. And I think that's the whole key, is to massage and make people feel as important as you can, because that only heals or only aids in their healing journey. And that's why we're here.
Wow. That Project Broadcast, I'm going to go get that. Kathleen. So Kathleen's an interesting one. She's from Alaska. And well, she lives in Maui now because they always move back and forth, Alaska and Maui. It's this island thing for any of you that know that. And she worked in the Alaskan pipeline for many years. She was the quality control. I bet nobody knew that, fun fact. And she also had the degree in clinical psychology. She is a healer, and she also has done a lot of quantum healing as well. She has been a professional network marketer now for 3 years. I would say this is her first network marketing position. And look at her go, SPD verse 1. I wish I could say that about me, verse 1. And so that is huge. She's one of the hardest workers I've ever met. And so here is your question. How do you talk to people about LifeWave and close them?
Okay, thank you, Marci. Aloha, everybody. Yes, I do live in Maui, and it's amazing. Although I was born and raised 30 years in North Pole, Alaska. So I am not an historical network marketer. No, I'm not. I did one little bleak shortened time with another company, didn't sign a single person up. And then I did, I've been in the healing arts, just in a meditation room, helping you, get connected back with your divine and clearing your blocks and challenges. No, I haven't done a network marketer. I am now. So much to where my mother was, right? So my mom was my whole entire life. And I rolled my eyes at her and I judged the dickens out of her. And to let you know, when I said I'm a network marketer, guess what I had to do? Get over my blocks and challenges. Yes, I did, because they came up because I had some judgment around it. I no longer have any judgment, and I'm living an amazing, beautiful life, thanks to David Schmidt and thanks to this product. So what brought me to LifeWave was the product. Yeah, I had an amazing experience. My daughter had an amazing experience, and then I learned how to do the business. So I did not know that I had this amazing knack to close people at like almost 100%. No idea. It's a secret talent that came, you know, on the full center stage 3.5 years ago. And it's amazing. So it took me a long time to figure out I had it. I thought everybody was closing at 100%. But I think they are with the patches actually. But so how do I do it? You know what? So I have a lot of people in my business I have a lot of actors and actresses in LA. I have different medical professionals. So I have all these people that don't have the time to talk to people about their patches. So they'll literally just send me their phone number and I call them up. And so they don't know me, I don't know them. And I'm like, you know, we've done a little text, right? So we've got an appointment Wednesday at 2. And I talk to them and I say, first of all, how are you? What's going on with you? And so they start talking. So what am I doing? I'm open-hearted listening with compassion. It's what I was doing for 25 years prior in that meditation room, right? What is going on with you? I'm open-hearted, I'm heart resonating, I'm connecting with them, and I'm listening and I'm loving. And so what's going on with you? And they start talking to me and I'm making notes. And granted, I'm closing in just one phone call. I don't even know this person and we're gonna take them all the way through this journey. And so, you know, closing is not just a thing you do. It's a journey that you're going on with this person, this customer, this client, this new friend, this person that you're now loving on, because I'm all about the law of one. And so this person in my phone call at the other end is also just a reflection of myself, right? So at any rate, it's a journey. So I'm asking them, you know, about themselves and what's going on with them. And they're telling me and we're connecting. And imagine, I always have this connecting resonance dot. It's amazing. Oh, I've been over there doing this. And so I always have this connection with them. It's just magic how that happens. And so then I ask them, well, have you checked out startx39now.com? And they say, well, yeah, kind of, but okay. Well, do you want me to give you a little overview of how the patches work? Oh, that would be fantastic. So I just give them a brief overview. Okay, well, you know, it's the patch it's, you know, using your own light to harness your body. Nothing's going into your body. It's non-transdermal. It's going to elevate a GHK copper peptide, subsequently produce your new stem cells. Do you know what stem cells are? Well, actually, I don't. So then I tell them what stem cells are, right? They're the only cell in your body that can change it and make it into whatever you need and then help yourself become younger, cellular repair, regeneration. Okay. So we're finishing on with the technology. And as I tell them about the technology, I love to include this timeline. I tell them, you know, at 6 weeks, your brain is going to be balanced. That's going to relieve PTSD, anxiety, and depression. It's what happened for my daughter. It's why I'm on the phone sharing it with you. 2 months, your cardiovascular system is going to become younger. 3 months, your collagen is going to get repaired. That's lovely for all the ladies. You're going to start looking younger, but really your structural integrity of your muscular and skeletal system is going to be amazing. So now your low back's probably not going to be going out. And at 6 months, we're talking about U3 dual. So you understand the technology now, you understand the timeline. So what I can do for you, based on what you just told me, is I can start you on a silver or a gold pack, depending on if it's going to be they're just themselves or their partner. And I say, I can get you 2 X39s and 2 Eons because we got to get rid of that inflammation so those stem cells get there quicker and deeper. And I can do that for $299 plus shipping and handling. Would you like to do that? Well, yes, I would. Okay, well, I can take your order now. And I take their order and I put it in. So that happens to me day in and day out, that exact conversation. And there was a pre-qualifying when they got my phone number. That was the pre-qualifying. And then and then I started doing it again and again and again. And I was like, holy smokes, I'm shooting 98%. I'm shooting 99%. And then when I actually don't get them, I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? I got to follow up with them and then I get 100%. But it's just one phone call and I just do it like that. What I do is finding out what's going on with the technology, and then I just move right into how the technology is going to fill that need, how we're literally going to do it with the kit. And would you like to do that now? Or I say, how does that sound? Great, good. What's your shipping address? And it's just like that.
Wow. Did you hear that? She closes at 98%. So I hope you guys wrote that script down. Thank you, Kathleen. Wow. Juliana. So Juliana has a heart of an entrepreneur. She has a master's degree in cultural anthropology and social change. Okay, she's deep. You get that, right? She's passionate about holistic health and also about the latest developments in quantum mechanics. She's also a professional network marketer, and her mother, who's 80, is Carol McDonald, who is a presidential as well. So it's like mother, like daughter, or like daughter, like mother. I'm not really sure, but it's super cute. Did she stand up? Oh, there she is. Stand up, Mom. Stand up, Mom. Her 80th birthday is on Tuesday. So Juliana, let me ask you the question, because you and your mom are so special and it's just amazing. So your question is, what sparked your interest in light? Isn't light just something that shines on us? Does light have any other significant implications? Like I said, she's deep.
I'm so glad you asked me that question. I have been thinking a lot about that. I know you have. Well, I'll start off by saying that Peter, who is my good friend, and we were business associates before. My journey with LifeWave started the day I called him in the middle of the pandemic, or the beginning of the pandemic, and said, Peter, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, times are changing. What are you up to? And he said, Juliana, you're really into life, aren't you? That was his one question. And not what do you know about stem cells, because that probably would be on me. But you're interested in light. And I said, oh, absolutely. You know, there's lasers and there's red light. And I just love the quantum world. I get so fascinated by it. And I'm a big reader and a big researcher, and I'm always learning. I'm a Gemini. That's my thing. Ruled by Mercury and Gemini. I love to learn. So I have some notes to share that will tell you why I think light is so amazing. Also, a former teacher. I'll do my best to keep it brief. I could keep you here all day. Give me the microphone. So light has been known by people that are very in the know as the medicine of the future. Light is a mechanism for the body's systemic cooperation. All tissues and cells and molecules throughout the body work together naturally, quickly, effortlessly, and instinctually, enabling us to embody aliveness, presence, clarity, and grace. For all parts of the body to communicate optimally, some type of rapid cell-to-cell communication must be taking place. All cells have photons, which are centers of light. Each cell in your body has a photon. They communicate through sending waves of light to one another. So even when you take we don't even like to talk about this here, but we do have white coats that exist in this world. And when we take a prescription drug, I don't do it, but when it happens, the way that that mobilizes your body is through light wave communication. That's how the cells talk. Light continually guides our lives. Light is more than waves and particles. Light is a purveyor of consciousness, and that's my field. Light is not just something outside of us that illuminates the dark. Light seeks us out the same way it directs a plant to grow toward it. Did you know that plants will lean toward the light? Light enters us through our eyes and skin and emanates from within us. Our eyes and mind are not geared to look for light, but to respond to it. That's really key. Light ignites a baby's awareness, which radiates back out into the world as pure presence. That's why their eyes sparkle. That's the light. I'll be quick.
You're doing great.
Oh, thanks. I love this stuff. Presence is about our innate response. Oh yeah, this is my word, presence. That word presence, I love presence. Like I was asked, what's your favorite quality? I said presence. And so, but a lot of people don't know what presence is. I mean, it's kind of a loaded word. So presence is about our innate response to light. Did you know that? Yeah, a lot of people think you have to meditate, you have to sit there, you have to pause, you have to stop, get all those thoughts away. Okay, I've got presence. Presence is about light, and presence is not about efforting. Presence is not about thinking or trying to be here now. Presence is a naturally occurring state that arises when our eyes and mind, triggered by light, focus on the same place at the same time. Because normally our monkey minds are one way, and the light, which captures our eyes, which draws our attention, is focused somewhere else. And when you coordinate those two things, that's presence. Presence is not about efforting. Presence is an involuntary response to an invitation. I love that word, invitation. By the way, when I talk to people about LifeWave, it's always an invitation. It's never about telling them what they need. So presence is an involuntary response to an invitation by life's intelligence. What's life's intelligence? Light, pointing us toward our maximum potential. When the eyes aim effectively, making eye contact and acknowledging what is called to them. So again, making eye contact, and that's so it's the mind, and then it's following the light, coordinating that. We experience congruence, a state of coming together, the perfect alignment of our outer and inner worlds, where extraneous noise around us diminishes because we're present in the moment.
Yeah, it's powerful.
I'm on to David now.
Perfect.
Okay, wrapping up. David explains that when we put a patch on our bodies, the light that emanates from our bodies, and that's because of the photons, it's coming out, right, all the time. It's not woo-woo, even though I live in Santa Fe and I have been called woo-woo, but you know, I do have some science behind it. But there, we really do have an aura. That's how night vision goggles work. So the light that emanates from our bodies reflect on the crystal matrix embedded in the patch. By the way, all organic materials, water, sugars, and amino acids in that patch, in the crystal matrix, producing different wavelengths of light which communicate with the brain, supporting the body to activate its innate healing potential. So in conclusion, I'd love to ask you, to invite you to join me in a moment of silence to presence our gratitude for this simple technology, which allows us to sing, dance, live, and love, guided by the light.
Wow. I guess that's why we're here. Because of the light. Okay, so just a time check. We do have recognition, and then we have food trucks after that we have paid for, so you all can have food and community with us today. But we are running just a few minutes behind. Is everybody good if we go a little bit, like maybe till Stacy 3:05 or something? Anyway, so we need to be quick.
And the announcement also is right when this ends, there's a cake table outside, and we'd like everyone to gather and sing happy birthday at the cake tables to Marci and Carol.
Oh, wow.
Before you go to the food trucks.
So just so you know, some of you saw that on the invite, some of you didn't, but it's our gift to you, and we all want you guys to break bread with us and have community, and those food trucks were paid by us for all of you. So, but let's continue. So just so you know, because we are running a bit behind the last three, we gotta be tight, okay? Okay, here we go. So Wendy is a holistic health practitioner for over 30 years, and she has a credential in physical therapy. She is a spiritual mentor and personal development coach, and she started this business in 2020, and if it wasn't for Kathleen and Wendy, Dr. Staci and April and Charity, the whole crew wouldn't be with us today. So we thank them so much because they work so hard every day. And Wendy, I see how hard you work. I've seen those. Have you guys ever seen those yellow pads? Right? She has name upon name, the next page. I've never seen anything like it. So how do you follow up and retain your people for the product and the business?
Wow, thank you so much, Marci. And hello, everybody. It's nice to be here, each and every one of you. So first of all, you're probably going to hear some, things that have been repeated out of my mouth because we're all on the same team here. So basically, who knows Simon Sinek? Yes? Oh. But if you don't know him, guys, pull him up on YouTube, read his books. He's a phenomenal person. He is of heart. And he has stated that empathy sells. Empathy sells. Because we don't sell here, we share. We share information so each individual can make the educated decision of whether this is right for them in their health regime. We're not here to push anything. We're just saying, hey, here it is. Here's the facts. Here's the experiences. Here's the patching podcast. Let's not forget about that, right? But once we go ahead and get them on and they've signed up, I've learned from the best. I too have a really good retention. Signing on because I learned from the best. We have a duplication within our team that we try to get everybody on the silver kit with 2 X39s and 2 8s, as Kathleen already alluded. So therefore we can say, hey, 2 months worth of both of those products. And then the next month, and we always follow up within 1 week of them being on the patches. How many times have you heard somebody say, oh my gosh, month, whatever, you get back to them and you go, how are you doing? And they're like, oh, I stopped using them because I was getting headaches. I was feeling like fluid. And I know my knee was getting worse and I just didn't want to go ahead and do it anymore. No, we need to stick with them, guys. We need to hold their hand while they're going through this healing experience. We need to support them. We don't want them to think about what patches they're using, how they're using them. We just want to say, here, just put this on every single day. I'm going to call you in a week. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Any problems? And we all know what's the one thing can pretty much take care of all the problems. Water. Yes, for those who said water, good job. Water is the number one. Chances are, and how much water, whatever your body weight is, divided by 2, whatever that number is the low number. Plus 20 is the high number in ounces in how much water you should be drinking. So we make sure first that they're drinking enough water. And then we also reach back to them 5 days prior to an auto ship going out. Now we have already set up an auto ship. Usually it's Alavita for the most part, because Alavita what? Decreases oxidative stress, as Dr. Staci already said. It also helps increase your peptide, lengthens your telomeres, so many different things. So it's one of the strongest patches secondary to X39. That was part of it before X49 came out, so I'm not sure if that's going to change. But nevertheless, we reach out to them 5 days prior to their auto ship going out. Hi, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you doing with the patches? How are are they working for you? Are you feeling anything? Sometimes people don't, I haven't felt anything, okay? Don't expect you actually feel anything yet. What is 60 trillion cells in your body? Give it a time, give it some time. But okay, so we're looking at your auto ship. It's going to go out in 5 days. Right now we have the Alavita, remind them what it does, how it's going to go ahead and affect their bodies. What's the benefit of it? If people don't know what the benefit of what they're taking, they're not going to want to take it, guys. They're not going to understand that. So some people go, you know what? I just want to hold off on that auto ship. I'm just going to stick with my 2 months. Great. Fantastic. Okay, then we'll just go ahead and bypass. But we try to keep that auto ship to keep your points up, to keep them active, because sometimes people want to turn us around and put into a business and share that product, right? By the time the auto ship goes out, now we're into the 3rd month, 1 month to actually 2nd month. No, it's 3rd month. Then I reach back out to them. Now they're used to receiving 1 X39 and 1 AM. They signed up as a silver. one X39, one Aeon is $170. They might as well upgrade to gold for $200. So many more patches. So we always turn around and upgrade them to gold. And again, tell them the benefits. And once they're up to gold, again, after that month, reach out to them 5 days before ship going out. How are you doing? How are you feeling? By this time, they know exactly what they like. They also know, am I just going to be a consumer or am I going to share this product? And that's when you can dip them into training or, okay, so this is how you work your back office. This is how you do your auto ships. You're doing great. Let those consumers go. So we can still feed them. But one thing is so important that has not yet been mentioned, guys, is the benefit and quality of our patching podcasts. Get the people on the patching podcast right from the start. If they can't, if they're not available, like if they're nurses and they're not available at 6 o'clock Pacific time to watch our patching podcast, send them testimonies or get them on our other Telegram group, the activating group, and make sure they watch those replays, because as Bob will test later, I didn't feel anything. If it wasn't for the darn patching podcast, I would have lost interest. But when you hear so many people having so many wonderful experiences, and not to mention it sparks. Wait a minute, you know, my friend across the street, he has a heart issue. He just got a heart issue. Well, so-and-so just twisted their ankle. Oh my gosh, she's with an ankle. It helps trigger people's memory because we all what? We are all apart. We're all connected. We all like to reach out and help each and every one of us. So get out there, lead with empathy. We're here to serve others, not serve ourselves. Get out of your own way. Thank you.
And you can find those plugins at our business site at StartX39Biz. That's StartX39Biz.com. There's a link to join our Telegram and how you can join into the podcast. And so we have StartX39Now.com, which is our exposing site, and StartX39Biz.com, which is our business site. Check them out. I think you'll like them. Okay, Rhonda, Donahue. And once again, I'm sorry to do this to you, Rhonda and Bob, but we got to be quick because you know Stacy's a timekeeper and she's on me, okay? It's already past time by 1 minute. Okay, so Dr. Rhonda, she's my business partner. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even be here today. Dr. Rhonda, when I was really sick, basically, no one called me anymore but Rhonda, and she always said, why don't we work? Let's go do phone calls. Well, I was at the time on chemo and my brain was buzzing, but she still had me working, and I love you for that. And so she's a PhD in nutrition, and she means the world to me. She also is a master in metaphysics science. She's written 2 books. She's the owner of Ageless Health and Wellness Center, and she's been a network marketer for 32 years. I did not know that. And so Rhonda, your question is, professional network marketers are master list makers. How do you create your list and how do you help others do the same?
Wow, that's a great question and a very important step before you even can share this wonderful product. You have to make a list of people you want to share it with. So look at who you know. Look at people that you love, your friends, your family. Look at people you do business with. Start making that list and just make a master list. Just jot down the names as fast as possible. This is great to do in the beginning, but if you haven't done it, you can start today and do it. All of us have done lists in the very beginning, and we continue to do lists and as we meet new people, right? And you know, think of it as an event you're going to have. If you're going to have a birthday party, you're going to make an invitation list, right? Who are you going to invite? If you're in business, if you're going to have an open house or a big event in your place of business, you're going to make an invitation list. So it's an invitation list to share something that you have found that's worked for you, and you know that it can help other people with their health. And if they want to make extra money, whether part-time or full-time. So start with that list, because you can't share the product, you can't send a link, you can't follow up with anyone until you make that list and then start calling.
Wow. You know, Dr. Staci said this once, and I put it on. We all have list books. How many people here have a list book? Raise your hand, because I'm really proud of you. The room has a list book. And Dr. Staci says something like this: who, a LifeWave, the holy grail of repair, who do you know that likes that stuff? Peter says, have you heard about stem cells? I put that in my list book. And then I think to myself, who do I know? And I just start writing the list, and then I add, and then I ask other people, who do they know? And then we link arms, and I may help Peter make a list. We'll do his list together. We are just a business of list making. That's all we do. And it's super fun and not that hard. Oh, Bob Campbell. Okay, Bob Campbell. Bob Campbell he was a mailman. He says if anyone can be a SPD who once was a mailman, anyone can do it. He's been in network marketing, you ready for this? Since the 70s. Yay! And Bob Campbell is the master of scripts. And Bob, could you just give us your favorite script quickly so people can write it down real quick?
Well, isn't it on StartX 39 Biz?
It is, but there's a lot of people here that don't know that.
Okay. So first of all, I want to say I have a brilliant partner. Her name is Amy Hosey. And Amy is probably the key to my success. But I want to say this. Within the first 7 to 10 days we were on this product, my energy level doubled. I had no energy since I was a teenager in high school. And when that happened, my eyes were open. Amy has fibromyalgia. She has a lot of pain all over her body. Within the first 7 to 10 days, her pain level dropped in half. Amy said something very profound to me. She said, Bob, if we don't share this with people, it is criminal. That has been our attitude since that day. We never knew how the pay plan worked. We didn't care how the pay plan worked. We just knew we needed to share this with people we cared about and loved. So if you have that attitude, guys, it doesn't matter what happens or if people turn you down, you still know you have to go on to the next person and share it because it changed all of our lives. Every one of us up here, not only health-wise, but financially. So anyway, here's what I say to people. And this is silly, you're gonna think, but I just say, if I'm talking, and I can see somebody limping going into a store, or I can see somebody struggling to reach something on a shelf, or I can see somebody struggling to get in and out of their car. I don't have to know them. But if I do know them, I'm going to say the same thing that I would to those folks struggling. I'm going to say the same thing to my doctor, who I fired recently. So, but I'm going to say the same thing no matter who it is, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, mailman, it doesn't matter. I say, hey, first of all, give everyone you speak to a compliment. Everybody. Now, it's twofold. One, watch them smile when you give them a compliment. Secondly, doesn't that make your heart feel good when you do that? First thing I do is give a compliment, okay? Second thing is this. I say, if I see somebody struggling or if I don't, I say, I got to share something with you, okay? And I mean that sincerely. I've got to share something with you. I finally, keywords, write it down. I finally found something to help me with. And then give your testimonial. Here's why you say I finally found. Real quickly, who in here has couldn't misplace their car or misplace their car keys or their cell phone? Car keys or their cell. I've misplaced my car. So everybody has misplaced their car keys or cell phone, right? What is the emotion that runs through you when you can't find them? Panic. And the longer it takes, the worse it gets, correct? What is the emotion when you finally find them? Relief. So when you say the words, I finally found something to help me with, what people hear when they hear finally found, it touches their subconscious mind and they smile subconsciously. That opens them up to listening to the information you have to share with them. If you say, I found, it will not work. It must be, I finally found. Okay, that's all I do. I finally found. It always touches their subconscious. I'm not worried about their conscious mind. I'm worried about their subconscious mind. Now, secondly, then I just say, what do you know about stem cells? It's Peter's line. Okay, doesn't matter what the answer, doesn't matter. Same answer, worse answer, terrible answer, great answer, doesn't matter. Then the next statement is this. You want to look them in the eyes and let them know you care about them. But you say this, have you heard about the latest technology in stem cell activation? Have you heard about the latest technology in stem cell activation? The reason I wrote that is because everybody will say no. You want them to say no, and that'll elicit the no. At that point, you say, I'm going to send you some information. If you like what you see, I'll show you how to get it wholesale, or I'll get it for you wholesale. You can make the determination on your own. Now, when they hear you say, if you like what you see, I'm going to get it for you wholesale. That stops them from searching the internet because they already know if they don't get back to you, they're not getting it wholesale. At least that's what their subconscious hears. You see, stop them from searching. So that's it. And then I say, I'll send you some information. You'll like to see, I'll show you how to get it wholesale. Do you want me to call you back tonight or tomorrow night? Okay, the reason I gave them two choices. You want me to call you back tonight or tomorrow night? You are conditioned from second grade. If a teacher asks you true or false, you know you got to answer or you get in trouble. That feeling stays with you the rest of your life. Not a joke. It's funny, but it's true. So they will automatically pick one when they say, well, tomorrow night. Okay, would you rather me call you at 6 p.m. or 8? You pick the two times that that work for you, right? If they don't like one of those times, but you gave them two choices, they got to pick one. They know they do, they're going to get in trouble with the teacher. So they're going to pick one. Or they're going to say, oh, geez, would 9 o'clock work for you? Yeah, 9 o'clock will work. Okay, that's it. Now they know you have a set time to call them back. That's all there is. I call them back. Now for you all, if you want, whoever you work with is your upline, you can call them first and say, Marci, I'm going to be speaking to my friend John, give Marci a little background, in an hour. Would you be available for a 3-way call? And then now Marci's ready, or one of us is going to be ready. Okay, so when you do that call, any questions they ask you, don't start answering them. Biggest mistake in the world. You say, that's a very good question. I'm not sure. Even if you're sure, you are not sure. Okay, and you're going to say, hold on just a second. My friend Marci has been using these patches for 3 years, or my friend Bob has been using these patches for 3 years. He answers all of my questions. All of my questions, not your question, because if you tell them they're going to answer your question, they're going to go, oh, no, I don't want to speak to anybody else. But if you say she or he answers all of my questions, hold on a second. You don't need to ask for permission. I never do, because I'm there to help them. See, I know what I'm doing is going to help them. So why would I worry? Because they don't know about the greatest product in healthcare ever. And you have the key. You have the key.
Get it, Bob? The commission script?
That's basically it. Oh, well, the last thing is, when you get us on a 3-way phone call, your job is to introduce us and shut up.
Thank you, Bob Campbell. And we're giving time to Dr. Staci. Thank you all so much for coming on and giving us your tips.
All right, so we are going to wrap up our day today with our recognition section. And for that, I'm going to call Peter Novak up here and Gerrit Johnson, who is our USA country manager, to do our recognition. So here's us, because every single person here is important. Every single one of you. So where are my guests that are still in the room from this morning? Let's give them a round of applause. Your brand partners do we have that have been with Lifeway for less than 30 days? Raise your hand, less than 30 days. Congratulations. Less than 90 days. Less than 90 days for Lifeway. Less than 6 months. Okay, so let's talk about our ranks in this business. We are a business, we are a structure, right? We have a way to the top. You heard from our SPDs, which are the top. You're going to hear from some more here in just a second, but I want to see our first rank in the business is manager. Manager means you have at least a gold kit yourself, and you have sponsored 2 silvers or above that are on your left leg, and 2 silvers that are above on your right leg. Where are the managers? Stand up, managers. Love it. Okay, so our next rank is director. Director means you have done that, obviously, but you've also went on and helped 2 people to become managers. A manager on your right and a manager on your left. Where are all my directors in the room? Stand up. Thank you, director. Fantastic. Well, guess what? I love that this company is so simple and they build on themselves. So guess what the next rank is? Senior director. And senior director means you've done that, right? You already done that. So now you're going to help 2 people do what you just did, which is go director. So a senior director has 2 directors in their team they personally enrolled. Where are the senior directors in the room? Don't they are there? And they go right to executive director, which is our next rank. And so here's the thing, if you can understand these first 3 ranks, you can get to the top of this company, because that's all we do. We help people become managers, we help people become directors and senior directors, all the way to the top of the company. The rest is volume. So our next rank is executive director. Where are the executive directors? We have executive directors. Executive director. You are going to share executive directors that come up, and the presidentials here in just a minute, and the senior presidential directors that weren't on stage just now. So there are other senior presidential directors in the team, and we want to make sure that they're recognized as well too. We want you to share one business tip, not a story. We love your stories, but we don't want to hear your stories. Okay? We want one business tip for success, and you have 1 minute or less. We love you, but we also want to get outside and have food together.
And I'm not going to give up the mic. Okay, 1 minute.
Choose, commit.
Okay, hold on just 1 second. Really quick. Tell us your name. Okay.
Christy Chapman, Queen Creek, Arizona, and my tip is to choose, commit, and conquer no matter what is going on in your life. You made a choice to be here, so choose. You've already made a choice. Commit to your commitment and show up every single day. Do the 3-3-3-2-2-2-1-1-1, whatever it takes. Pay it forward and conquer. Don't let anything stop you from achieving your goals and helping others, because we truly have a gift.
Dr. Paige Hunter, and I live in El Chapaco, Jalisco, Mexico, off-grid. I want to share that when I decided to take the plunge, I did it, and I wanted to partner with God. I said, show me and highlight to me who you want me to share this with. And I would get the faces of people who I love and faces of people who I hadn't really seen in years, or even strangers that I had met in passing. And I reached out, and I did most of it through Zoom, through phone calls. And I started in November 7th, and here I am now. So just reach out to people. And the thing that I'm seeing the most is people are tired of talking to robots on their phone when they call. And the greatest thing you can do is to ask a question and truly listen with heart. That's the greatest thing you can do.
Awesome.
Sure. Well, Randy and I, we got involved during COVID time, and I was pretty bad with rheumatoid arthritis. I've had it since high school, over 60 years. And I prayed and I asked God to take me home or show me what I could do. On Facebook, somebody reached out and said, I'm pain-free. And that's history. I lead with love and passion because I know what pain is. And I want to help everybody in the world. And we are a team. We work together. My husband just turned 88.
Damn!
Mass removed on his right kidney and never took a pain pill. And I can get those stories all day long, but love your people. Keep them informed. We send out amazing email every single week from one of our team members. That is her strength. So get your people involved, go with their strengths, and they will feel needed and important, and they will stick with you, and they will help others change the world too.
We love Rose and Randy. Okay, last one. Come on, Mr. Blanc. This guy. I like the short man in the group.
Please ask questions. Be interested, not interesting. And show passion. Walk the talk. Be the example. And people will flock to you like bees. It's that simple.
Thank you. So good. Right. Next coming up is our presidential director. So to be a presidential director, it's only the difference between 50,000 points in a 4-week period to 100,000 points. So we're doubling. So all our presidential directors, come on up to the Price is Right. Come up. Let's go. All right. Wow. Don now, now come on down.
Everyone come up on stage. We can all do this together.
Come on down. Come on down, Ted. Move down a little bit so we can get everyone up here. Not everybody, come on. Come on up.
Okay, so we will start with Peter. What do you want to know? Give us one business tip in 60 seconds. And I'm going to hold the mic.
So I'm really big on trusting your gut and following your inner guidance. So when I'm out and about, I'm always paying attention, because at the start of this business, I just said a prayer and I just told the universe that I'm open for business. And please bring the people to me. I want to be an attracting force. So once I set my intention, then when I'm out in the world, I'm always looking. And I'm the type of person that I always have my business card right here in my phone. I'll be at a restaurant. If I see somebody across the restaurant, I get a hit, I need to connect with them, I'll just walk right up and say, hey, here's my card. I work with stem cells. Check this out. I do a lot of work with the inner game. So just clear the blockages and trust your gut.
Right now, we're going to go down.
Last, right? List. Don't give up. Decide why you want to do the business part. even if it's about the health. Decide that's what it is. Be willing to change your why. When I started, it was community, and then it was quickly health, and then it turned into wealth. And so now it's about the money, because I know when the money flows, it's because the health is being taken care of in people's lives. Do not let anyone else's opinion, mood, negative or positive opinions move you or stop you or start you. You have to find your own why, because if somebody can stop you, then they're going to have to start you. You get to be in charge of your own life and your business. Connect with someone in your upline who is trained to help you make managers. Listen, managers, you are the foundation. You just keep making what you are. That's all you do. Keep it simple. Don't make it complicated. And be unafraid to make a new friend, even if it means leaving your old ones.
Thank you, Donna.
Okay.
Who are you gonna call? My name's Jan Rand, and my two main things are you need to stay plugged into the system. The secret sauce is coming to the Patrick podcast, and don't be afraid to ask for help. You get to a point and you find yourself struggling when you see somebody that's doing something that you love. Charity has been my mentor lately, and I've been following what she does. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it.
Okay, I'm Carol, and I'm going to tell you that this man right here is what's brought me onto the stage. I'm telling you, I knew Peter before. I was broke. The company that we all loved and were in got into a little snafu with the FDA, who was busy with COVID, but they closed our company down for 4 months. And 4 months of not getting paid, let me tell you, APS doesn't care why you're not paying the bill. So I was like desperate. I mean, I'm teased. You saw my beautiful, bright daughter, Juliana, and I was at the point, and I told Peter, if this doesn't happen pretty soon, I'm gonna have to live with one of my kids. I have 3 and I love them all, and the reason we love each other is we don't live together. So I said to Peter, I gotta do this quick. What do I do? He said, you watch the podcast. And I'm telling you, that was, I don't know why I was able to hear it, but I did. And what that does, it lets you know that the patches work. If you're not listening to the podcast, you only know what it did for you. And that's not enough, because you can't find a group of people that have the same problems you do. And if I talk to somebody who has migraine headaches, praise God, I've never had one in my life. So I can't tell them very much that's relevant to them. But if I know from the podcast that another friend of mine had migraine headaches, I say, you know, I haven't had one, but let's you talk to Susie. She suffered with them and she doesn't have them anymore. Now that's the connection you need. But most of all, when somebody tells me, no, this doesn't work, usually in your family and the people you love most, I know it works. Before, it would knock me out for 2 weeks before I would tell anyone else. But because of the thousands and thousands of absolute miracles I've seen on the Patching podcast, it just like, it doesn't affect me at all. I just think, you know, yeah, next, but if you stayed on them, you get your miracle. If you choose to get off, enjoy what's ever wrong with you.
Get on the podcast.
Hi, everyone. Janet Kiefer from Austin, Texas here. And I want to just, first of all, thank everybody, Connie, Robin, and Gregory, all the SPDs. This has just been fabulous. Thank you, Gerrit, for being here. Everybody gave you fabulous tips. It's a smorgasbord. I have one more. For 25 years, I coached companies in how they grow. And what I learned is telling stories, as Peter says, is the key. But our brain makes decisions from the limbic system. The limbic system only knows pictures and emotions. If you saw David's pictures, all these pictures,
Include them, because the brain, you think it's facts and figures. I gotta know the products, I gotta know how it works. The brain makes a decision from emotion and pictures. Because we grew up in the savannas. Was there danger out there? Show your pictures. It brings down the walls. They're like, how the heck did that happen? Right? So take everybody else's wonderful jewels today. Love on your team. Thank you.
Thank you. California.
So my background's engineering, Peter, and for the engineers, for everybody, don't analyze this forever. Okay, please don't. Okay. Exactly. You know, get out there. Any tennis players here? And you like to play tennis? Yeah. So the tennis champions, what do? They don't sit at the baseline and volley the ball back and forth. They go to the net. Am I right? They go to the net and they force the action. So you had so many incredible tips today. You can't do all, but you know, pick some of them that you like and go to the net and force the action is my recommendation. Thank you all.
Thank you. Everyone, for all our SPDs in the house that have not been on stage. We have quite a few. Come on, Larry. Where else? And Nikki, Rick. Anybody else? Is there anyone else we're missing? Oh, Connie, have you shared? Oh, okay, you'll be on stage. Okay, you guys. Yes. Okay, how you guys doing? Okay, so they drove quite a ways here. So Nikki, can you share with us the business tip?
Okay, well, Nikki Chan, 11 years in business, loving every moment. Today you guys learned so much. You hear so much testimonials and sharing how to do this business. My tips for you is that it will not happen to you. It will not happen for you if you don't decide. Okay, the most powerful things you need to do is to decide what you want to do. And once you decide, then it will happen and then take action.
I'm Larry. I come from, like Peter said, Fort Wayne, which is the country of California. Anyway, I'm not gonna give you any tip because today, pretty much what I see is we in a university like over 1,000 years. And I don't think any one of us can get all those information and do everything. I just want to echo on what Nikki said. Go with a little step, take action, and what you're going to do is do your baby step, at your speed. Whatever you can do it and master that and move on one step at a time. And your mentor is over there, your upline is over there. Use it like that. Don't do it yourself. Right? That's what network marketing is all about. Thank you for having us.
Well, everybody, my name is Rick DeLuca. I've been with the industry for 37 years. I've been in Lifeway full-time for 12 years. This is my lastdeal.com. I tell everybody, I'm not looking anymore, folks. This is the real deal. I mean, folks, if the key I can give you guys today, something positive, is always, always, always be positive, especially when you don't feel like it. That's what makes all the difference in the world. I learned that a long time ago, and I'm still alive today in network marketing. And thank God I found the right deal. But folks, all I can say is how often in our lifetime that we have an opportunity like this that we can give back to the people we love and make a difference while making a fortune. This is the easiest hard work you ever do. If you can put a Band-Aid on like we all did, and you can follow the pictures and instruction booklet, you can do this business. God bless us all in life. Amen.
You know we're in an 18-year-old company. You know how you know when you're part of a good company? When you look at all the older distributors, not older, but sure, no, when you see the seasoned partners here that have been here through the ups and downs, through the challenges, and now we come in as the new kids on the block and we get to experience all the older kids on the block, and we get to work together. And that is what you want to look for when you're looking for a company. So thank you all for being here. So everybody, a couple of things. Dr. Staci and Laura are going to give away more gifts.
Yep.
Who wants more
Last
gifts?
of the gifts. Get your tickets out.
Everyone.
Laura's throwing out hats right now. Catch it.
Catch it out, and everybody.
But get your tickets out. We've got X39, X49 still.
Catch them all while it's hit notebooks while it's hot. And everyone, if you want to be in the picture after we close, we want everyone to move from the left to the middle, to right to the middle, and we're going to try to get a picture from here down if you'd like to be in the picture after Dr. Staci gives away all the cards.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Gerrit. To all the EDs, PDs, and SPDs. Okay, last patches here. We've got 7 sleeves of X39 and 4 sleeves of X49. You ready? You got your present to win. 101. Please. Perfect. 101, 202. Thank you. 244. 101, 202, 244. 030. 157. 030, 157, 092. 805, it's mixed up, don't worry. 070 259 259 035 245 073 322
322, everyone.
251
251
123. Yeah, you better speed it up.
123. How many we got left? Oh my gosh.
123.
Man, this is like candy in the kids store.
041 350 049 093. You guys ready to see your hand? 207 207. Did you come on up? With your ticket 263 108.
What do we got left? What do we got left? What do we got left? Who wants a journal? Raise your hand.
094. We're not throwing journals. 094. 188. 200. 200. Now we're coming up. 179. Perfect. 179. 165.
All right, let's get everybody from the outside in who wants to be in a picture.
126.
Wow, we got a winner, chicken winner, Cinderella. Okay.
126. 126 right here.
126 right here. 126 right here. 126 right here.
Pop sockets. No brown journals. Pop sockets. Pop sockets.
Okay, everyone. Okay, let's.
All right, so here's what's going to happen. Hang on 1 second here.
Okay, everyone.
Okay.
Come out.
All right, so.
Picture.
Okay, so thank you guys for being here today. Thank you, team, for putting all this together. Out here by the cake, we're going to go out there and do happy birthday. To the left are the food trucks. There are 2 food trucks. There's one with bowls, different meat choices. There's another one that has different types of non-GMO organic food. We can do about 160 people an hour. So pictures, cakes. Thank you all for being here.
Pictures. Who wants pictures? If nobody wants to get a picture, we are. Anybody wants pictures? Come on.
And thank you, Mark, and all the support.